All right, everyone. Welcome to this week's Coaching Tip Tuesday here on the Real Talk Real Estate Show, and I'm your host, David Huffman. And last week we talked a little bit about the two things that you really need to know about every single prospect. And I just want to say I really do appreciate your guys' feedback on that and stuff, because it seems like that hasn't been a big misconception in our industry that people really don't know if they want an appointment or not. And so I'm glad that helped some of you guys out. And if you haven't listened to that podcast, then definitely listen to that here from the previous week. But now that we're past Thanksgiving, now that we're all probably stuffed our bellies a little bit too much, now we're kind of getting back into a couple more weeks before we get into the Christmas and maybe even Hanukkah kind of time frame, and of course New Year's, that we really can work on building our business a little bit, and a lot, I should say. And so, today I really want to talk about the one thing that you can do today to be able to set an appointment with a motivated buyer or seller. The one thing. Now, before I disclose the one thing, it's, this is, again, kind of always been interesting to me whenever I get a new student and we start to talk about like their current business. On the very first phone call, myself as a coach, I'm going for the low-hanging fruit. I'm looking for anything that's out there that we kind of know of that may be a motivated buyer or seller today. And what can we do to be able to set that appointment, right, to get them to want to work with you? And it just amazes me. I can pretty much tell you on every single first coaching call I have, we find 2, 3, 4, 5 different people that they really can go and call and set an appointment with, and they didn't even really know it, okay? So what is that one thing, David? Okay, what's the one thing that I can do right now to be able to set that appointment? Well, call them. No, I'm just kidding. That's not just it. But yes, please do call them. Now, here's why don't you have an appointment with them, anyway? So let's start from the very basic part. So who do you know right now? And grab a piece of paper and pen if you want to write this down, because it's going to be very important, the names you write down on that piece of paper. Who do you know right now that is considering buying or selling a home in the next 30 days? Who do you know right now that's considering buying or selling a home in the next 30 days? Okay, that's one list of people. So hit pause if you need to, but go ahead and start making those names down. Write those down, absolutely. Now, the second thing is who do you know that would buy or sell a home if they found the right property? If they, the desire is there, they want to sell the property right now, or they want to list the property, or they want to buy a property right now, but there's a little bit of a reason. And that reason is not a non-negotiable reason, like we can't move till the end of the school year, or I can't move until my taxes are done for next year, okay? But they want to move. They want to get top dollar for their property. They're ready to make that move or to get a good deal on a house, but they're thinking that they should wait for whatever reason, but your gut tells you that they really are looking on the internet like every night for a new house. Your gut tells you that they really are wanting to list their property now. They just aren't necessarily saying it, okay? So write those people down as well. There may be just a couple more of those people, but for the most part, people be in that first bucket. People that that want to buy or sell a home here in the next 30 days, okay? Now, here's a simple question. How many of those people do you currently have an appointment set with? How many people out of that list do you currently have an appointment set with? Okay? If it's not 100% of them, then why? Why haven't you given them a good enough reason to want to meet with you? Why haven't you given them a good enough value proposition to want to meet with you? Why haven't you got a reason, like found property? This is a big one going on right now because we've got a lot of great markets across the country. And they're saying, well, they're looking through my automated email list that I send them every single day or week or whatever, and they haven't gotten back to me yet to tell me which properties to go and see. Really? Okay, let's try another one. They are looking for a property that doesn't exist, and it's not on the market. I've shown them everything on the market. I've shown them 10, 20, 30 properties, and we haven't found the right one yet. Okay, well, now we need to create inventory. Right? Or they're looking for something that doesn't exist. They're defining insanity, right? And I teach a method on how that analogy kind of goes, that storytelling to them goes. It really can help them. I may be able to share that with you if you'd like on the show one time. But the idea is that they want to buy a property. They just either have unrealistic expectations, price, condition, and locations, one of those three generally speaking, or the property really doesn't exist. The properties coming on the market are selling so quickly, or the property, it's been there, but it's not there now. And so we need to go and actually create that inventory. And a lot of you guys are going to fall in that bucket. I need to create inventory for my client. And so if that's the case, create that inventory. Go to those places that, aren't just on MLS. Go to Zillow, Make Me Move. Go to Zillow for sale by owner. Go to forsalebywowner.com. Go to Craigslist and look for some stuff. Go, Google stuff. Even go and look anywhere. Look on even military by owner for some of you guys that are close to the military stuff. We have a whole list we've created for our students that are places to go to be able to create that inventory. But ultimately, what I'm trying to teach you today is this. You're the expert. You're the sales professional. It should be up to you to be able to overcome that objection and not let time pass and wait for the client to overcome that. That's a personal challenge I give you from this point forward. You're the professional. You're the licensed individual, okay? You're not a consultant. I mean, if you really listen to this podcast, you're not a consultant. You're a salesperson. You want to get better dialogue. You want to be able to create inventory to give your clients a reason to want to meet with you. But ultimately, every client or every prospect that you know that is looking to buy or sell in the next 30 days or would buy or sell in the next 30 days if, insert objection here, were to be overcome or overcame, right? Then I'm telling you, from a sales professional to a sales professional, you need to overcome that objection to give them the value proposition as to why they should meet with you, okay? You need an appointment. Now, that appointment can be for a listing presentation. That appointment can be for a buyer presentation, like at Starbucks or your office or wherever. That appointment can be at a property if you've already got, if it's safe, if you've already got a relationship with the person and you feel comfortable meeting them directly at a property, right? But you need an appointment. You've got to get back in front of that individual. If you don't, every day that passes is just another day that somebody else can scoop them up. It's another day they can walk into an open house and be scooped up. It's another day that they may leave their information on Zillow or Realtor.com or any of these other websites, and another agent scoops them up. So why do you want to make your job any more difficult than what it already is? Okay? So maybe some of you guys listening to this podcast today didn't really know that that's really what you needed. Maybe you kind of assumed, we know that we have to have appointments in this business to be able to make any money. It's not that automated yet where I can just say, hey, open the door at 123 Main Street. And then they go in and see, okay, yeah, I'm writing a contract now. I'll send a DocuSign over to you. We're not to that point, right? Maybe Zillow is going to be here pretty soon, it sounds like, but we're not to that point. So you've got to have that appointment to keep that relation going, right? You've got to have that appointment set with any client looking to buy or sell or wanting to buy or sell in the next 30 days. So that's the challenge. That name of people that you put on your list, call them right now. Figure out what it is that's the next step in the process that you have a solution for. If you don't have a solution for it, come up with a solution for it and give them a call and give them the value proposition as to why they need to maybe call you back or why they need to actually have an appointment with you, okay? Because that's how you keep the process going. Here's a crazy analogy that I think probably all of us that have been in the business for a while have probably ran into before. It's the fourth Saturday in a row that you've taken this, guy out, let's call him Frankie. You've taken Frankie out 4 Saturdays in a row and shown him like 20 properties. And you're so frustrated with Frankie. You're like, come on, Frankie, just pick something, But think about it though. Frankie he's either defining insanity. He's looking for something that doesn't exist for the price, the condition, the location. Okay. So you need to be a trained prospector, a trained salesperson to be able to overcome that. Right. We talked about that earlier. And maybe if you guys want, I'll do a show on that. But on the flip side of that, you also have to create that inventory and keep him engaged. So even when you get done with the 4th Saturday showing Frankie and you still haven't found that right property and you don't even know that there's anything in MLS to be able to show him next Saturday, challenge yourself to put the pressure on yourself to still set that appointment with Frankie. Week number 5, schedule that appointment with Frankie. Frankie, you know what? I know you're probably just as frustrated as maybe I am right now as well. We haven't quite found what you're looking for, but leave it up to me. I'm going to create some inventory. I'm going to find some motivated sellers this week, and we're going to go out next Saturday, same time, 11 o'clock. What do you say? Okay? Because think about it from Frankie's perspective. If you don't do that, Frankie's just as frustrated as you are. He's also going to be the person that's going to go back on other websites. He's going to go on forsalebywowner.com. He's going to go into open houses. He's going to do whatever he can do because his desire is there. You know, we talked last week on the podcast about motivation and time frame. His motivation is there. He's good. He wants to buy a house. He just needs a house to be able to sign, to buy, right? So take it upon yourself to find that property. That literally may mean searching the MLS to see what actually did meet that criteria over the last 5 years. Like, what's really even been on the market in the last 5 years? And at least then you have a target of addresses to be able to go after, right? So it may take some really unorthodox or really outside the box thinking of how to go about that. And you might write letters to them. You may go and door knock to them. There's a lot of different ways, but ultimately take that on yourself. Be a professional. Don't just sit back and armchair quarterback the transaction and get upset when Frankie uses another realtor. Okay? You can't. You put that on yourself. As long as you're keeping these people engaged throughout the process, especially when they're 30-day out buyer or seller, then you're most likely going to be able to control that individual until the point that they're ready to contract. You're not giving them a reason to want to kind of vary off and way off into the another agent's arm. So keep that in mind. I see that a lot. So the challenge today on this particular call for this week is, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell in the next 30 days? I don't care what the objection is. You're the professional. Overcome that objection. If you need some help overcoming those objections, email me. Let me know. I'm happy to help. Okay, it's one of the things, the big things that we teach our students, because a lot of what we do, just little things here and there, help break down that process so that way they actually want to call us back or they actually want to have an appointment with us. Really got to work on that value proposition, because just because you're a real estate agent, if you got a heartbeat and you got a car, doesn't give them a reason as to why they should want to buy with you, because there's thousands of agents around you that have exactly the same thing. So be different. Give them a really good reason as to why they would want to meet with you. In this case, anybody looking to buy or sell, make sure you take the time to give them a really good value proposition to keep that engagement going, keep them involved in the transaction, and you'll have less agents or less clients that are running from you or in buying from other people. And you'll have your clients will appreciate it as well, because you're helping them find a solution faster. And that's ultimately what we want to do as agents. We want to get through this process with each person as quickly as possible. Overcome that objection, make those phone calls now. So guys, again, thanks for joining us on this particular podcast. Hit subscribe. I definitely want to be in communication with you guys. You guys are welcome to go onto our website. We also have an email campaign that we do. You can go to realpers.com and get on that as well. This is the contact us form. But ultimately, my goal and my job here is to help you guys kind of be a little bit more realistic in your processes and your verbiage and your dialogue as you go through your career, because ultimately all these things kind of pieced together will help you be able to be more successful faster, but also be able to really learn what that next step is that prospect needs to do and what you need to say in order to get them to want to do that. So we really dig that down a lot in our coaching and our one-on-one stuff. So if I could be of any help, I'd love to maybe even talk about what your goals are for next year. I mean, we've got 2018 is right around the corner. And ultimately, I'd love to be able to earn your business if we're a good fit. If you believe in the style that we're bringing here on the podcast, this is how myself and my coaches are trained to be able to teach from. We actually have a membership site that actually has all this stuff inside of our academy. It's all on video. They can literally walk through at their own step or their own pace, And so we can really reach any price point. So we have that for people that necessarily can't afford that one-on-one coach just yet. But then we have the one-on-one coaching as well that will help you with your accountability and additional customized education based upon what's really going on in your business today to be able to help control that and get that profitable as quickly as possible. So whatever I can do to help, you can reach out to me directly, david@realperds.com or 1-800-916-7325. But ultimately, subscribe to the podcast, and I look forward to connecting with you guys here next week on Coaching Tip Tuesday. Talk to you then.